Hello, I'm Sonali Pawar. In this lecture, we are going to see the working of the for loop. First, we will see what is the syntax of the for loop. For is a keyword, and within this simple brackets, we can write the initialization, condition, increment, decrement, these three statements only in the single line, which is separated by semicolon. So when you are writing the for loop, there must be two semicolons must be present inside this simple brackets, then only it will execute, otherwise it will show you the error. And after that, within this curly bracket, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket, we can write our statements which you want to execute when this condition is true. Now we will see how this for loop works actually. First, it will perform the initialization. After that, it will check the condition. If condition is true, then only it will enter into the for loop. And after executing these statements, it will go to do increment or decrement. After performing this operation, it will again check condition is true or false. If condition is true, then only it will enter into the for loop. And after that, again it will do the increment or decrement. And after that, suppose condition is false, then only it come out of the for loop and it will execute the statements which are written after the for loop. So this is the working of the for loop. This is the flowchart of the for loop which demonstrates the working of for loop. In this, first we will do the initialization. After the initialization, it check the condition. If it is true, then only it will execute the statements which are written inside the for loop. After that, it will do the increment, decrement, and again it will go up to check this condition is true or false. And if it is true, then again it will execute this part, and again it will jump to check whether this condition is true or false. If it is a false, then only it will come out of this for loop and it will execute the statements which are written after the for loop. So here you can see that it will do the initialization first, and this it is also only one time, and repeatedly it will execute these statements which are written inside the for loop, and it will do the increment, decrement again and again. And when this condition becomes false, then only it will come out of the for loop. Now here you can see that this is called as an entry controlled loop, because after initialization we are checking the condition, and if condition is true, then only I am entering into the for loop. So first we are checking the condition. Because of that, for loop is called as the entry controlled loop, or you can say that pre-tested loop also. Now through the program we will see the working of the for loop. Suppose I want to print the 1 to n numbers using the for loop. I have written one code here. Here I have declared the two variables I and n of integer type. After that, a CLR SCR is used to clear the screen. Then I have written the printf enter value. This is the only message which will be displayed onto the screen. After that, I have written the scanf. Through the scanf, I am able to read the value of n. So suppose user enter the 3 value, then output of this program will be 1, 2 and 3. It means I am going to start printing number from the 1. So initialize the value of I is equal to 1. So I will set I is equal to 1. After that, I am going to print the number up to the n. So until I is less than equal to n, print the numbers and I plus plus. So here there is a three part which are present in the for loop. First one is this is called as a initialization. Second one is a condition, and last one is the increment or decrement. Here we are incrementing the value of I. So you can write I is equal to I plus 1, then also okay. Otherwise you can write I plus plus also, then also okay. Both statements are correct. After that, through the printf, I will say that print the value of I onto the screen slash n, so that it will print onto the next line, and after that write down the I. What it means, initially value of I is 1, so it will check the condition. Value of the n is 3, 3 is less than 1, it will enter into the for loop and it will print 1 onto the screen. So it will print 1. After that, I am saying that increment the value of 1. So I becomes 2 and 2 is less than 3 less than equal to 3, so condition is true, so it will print 2. After that again I will increment, 3 is also less than equal to 3, so condition is true, so it will print 3. And after that it will again increment the value of I. Now in this case I becomes 4, which 4 is greater than 3, so condition is false, then it will come out of the for loop and it will execute the statements which are written after the for loop. So this is the way to print the 1 to n numbers. Let's compile the program. No error, no warnings are there, and just execute your program. एक second. CLRSCR must be there. So just compile and execute your program. Enter the value of n. Suppose I enter the 6, so it printed the 1 to 6 numbers. Suppose I want to print the 6 to 1, means I want to print this number in the reverse order. It means suppose user enter the 3 value, then output of this program must be 3, then 2, then 1. Means I am going to print the same numbers, but it must be in the reverse order. So here I am start printing from the n. Value of n is right now 3. Suppose user enter the 3, so n becomes 3. So I am going to print the numbers from the n. So initialize the value of I is equal to n and मुझे print करना है 1 तक. So until I is greater than 0, or you can say greater than equal to 1, then also okay. And here you have to write down the I minus minus, means decrement the value of I. So in this case, first it will set 3 value to the I. So I is 3 and 3 is greater than 0. So condition is true. So it will print 3 onto the screen. After that I am decrementing the value of I. So I becomes 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. So it becomes 2 and 2 is also greater than 0. So it will print 2 onto the screen. Like that it will print the numbers from 3 to 1 in the reverse order. So let's check. Compile your program and run. Suppose I enter the 4, so it printing the numbers in the reverse order. So here you can do the increment and also decrement. Both are valid. You can increment the value and you can decrement the value, which is a depend upon the situation. But whenever you are working with the for loop, there must be a 2 semicolons present inside this simple opening and closing bracket. Suppose I miss this semicolon and I will just compile this program. You can see there are the two errors for statement missing semicolon, means they are saying that there must be a semicolon. Suppose I will erase these both semicolons and you can see, just compile your program, you can see this error. So when you are using the for loop, there must be a 3 parts. First one is the initialization, second one is a condition, and last one is a increment or decrement. And all these 3 parts must be separated by semicolon only. Now next thing is, suppose I have written one for loop here, for, and there is no any initialization, there is no any condition, and also there is no any increment or decrement statement. Still you have to write down 2 semicolons, otherwise it will show you the error. You can see expression syntax. And suppose I just put the 2 semicolon here and I will just compile the program. You can see there is a 0 error, but there is a 2 warnings. Unreachable code. What it means, if you put only 2 semicolons in the for loop, it means it is an infinite looping. It means there is no any initialization, condition, also increment, decrement. So it will execute whatever statements present in this curly opening and closing bracket infinite times. So it will goes into the infinite looping. So to perform any task infinite times, but that time I will just write down 2 semicolons, but there must be some termination condition. Using the if and write the termination condition. So this is about the for loop. And next thing is, suppose you have written the semicolon after the for loop, means I have written I is equal to n, I greater than 0 and I plus plus, and after that I have written the semicolon. What it means, there is no any statement in my for loop. There is no any single statement also is not in the for loop. This is the meaning when you put the semicolon after the for loop. Just compile the program and you can see the output of this program. Suppose I enter the 4, so output is, it is printing the 0. What it means, it initializes the value of I is 3 and 3 is I have entered the 4, so it will initialize the value of I to the 4 and I is greater than 4. After that it will decrement and I have put it the semicolon. It means there is a no any statement in my for loop. So after decrementing, again it will check the condition. If it is true, again it will decrement, again it will check the condition. Like that it will, when it come out of this for loop, when I becomes 0, because 0 is not greater than 0, so it will come out of this for loop and consider that this printing statement is outside the for loop. If you have written opening, curly opening and closing, still it consider it is out of the for loop and it will print the value of I is 0, because after, when I becomes 0, that time only it will come out of the for loop and it will printing 0 onto the screen. So when you put the semicolon, it means there is no any statement in the for loop. And suppose if you are not written just opening and closing bracket, if you written only this part and you have erased this semicolon, it means there is only one statement in my for loop. Suppose I just written here printf and I've written here slash and hi. So what it means, there is only one statement in my for loop and this hi statement is outside the for loop. Just compile this program and execute this program, enter value 3, so it will print 3 to 1 and at the end it printing the high. But suppose I have written here curly bracket, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. What it means, there are the two statement in my for loop. Just compile your program and execute your program. Suppose I have written 3, so 3 times it printing the high because it is a part of your for loop. So this is about the for loop. I hope you understand the for loop. Thank you for watching my video.